Happy Thursday. Another day closer to the weekend. Isn't that awesome? Wanted to talk a little bit. I had an interesting conversation earlier about client engagement. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit. It seems to be the number one problem that bookkeepers have with their clients is not being able to keep them engaged in the process. Kind of by way of an example, I had a client once that it was actually pulling teeth to get his bank statements from him. And that's like the beginning step. I can't do anything without at least banking information. And I was really surprised that it took that much to get that information from him when it was, this is critical information, and I just cannot read minds as much as I would like to. So that's been an ongoing problem. We've tried different tools, we've tried different approaches. I keep going back to I need to talk to my clients monthly to quarterly. Quarterly is a minimum because I need them to be engaged in the process. This is not like going for a train ride where you just get on the train and you go to your destination and you don't have to think about anything on the way. This is rather an in-depth process, and there kind of comes a point where, as a bookkeeper, I cannot do the work without the client's engagement. That means, making sure that everything is right, that I have all the information that I need, that I say everything's right, everything's classified correctly, the way that I know exactly what these transactions are for. Now, the client and I may differ. A primary thing would be, if they have flyers printed, they think it's advertising, and I say, no, that's actually printing, and it needs to go in printing, so you know how much you paid for printing, even though you're using it for advertising purposes. It's not the same thing. Now, if they were getting if they were paying for a print ad, I would definitely put that under advertising. But, I have to kind of go with what my training says. So I have had clients that actually don't even want to give me the basics, the very minimum that I need to even begin to get to work on their books. And I understand that most people think that bookkeeping is a process about as much fun as getting a root canal done with no anesthesia. Obviously, since I do it for a living, I don't feel that way about it. I find it interesting and engaging, at least on some level, and I like the idea of helping the client get the information they need in a format they can understand so that they can make decisions that actually make sense for their business instead of flying by the seat of their pants. I've really seen a lot of businesses fail because they have bad bookkeeping systems, and I don't want my clients to be one of those businesses. So if you hire a bookkeeper, whether it's me or somebody else, it's vital that you stay engaged with them, that if they reach out to you and say, hey, I need this information, I need to know what this transaction was, especially if it's a big box store, you can buy anything at a big box store, then they genuinely need to know. They're not just trying to be nosy, they're not trying to get in your business, and they're not trying to be in their way. It's better to take 5 seconds or 5 minutes once a week and just kind of go over the 2 or 3 transactions that are giving your bookkeeper trouble than it is to then go to another bookkeeper and say, well, the first one didn't know what she was doing, when the problem wasn't the bookkeeper to begin with. The problem was the engagement of the client. It really kind of startles me to see how many people don't want to talk about their money. It just really, or they try to be so creative in their accounting that they're going to get in trouble, and they don't want to hear their bookkeeper say, that's a bad idea. It's important with your bookkeeper to be forward and upfront. Upfront is the word I was looking for. And honest with them. You can say, yeah, this was to Alpha Graphics, I had some business cards printed, and then trust them to put that in the right category. But the most important thing you can do when you hire a bookkeeper is when they call you or they text you or they email you, and it usually kind of starts, emails the most distant. Let me email you and I've got some questions for you. Set up a meeting for them. It may take 5 minutes. Isn't it worth 5 minutes of your time to make sure that your books are correct? And it won't be every week. It will be maybe once a month. And it will make your life, actually, even though they're asking questions and it may be annoying, and in fact, if anyone can explain to me why people hire a bookkeeper and then they're engaged for a month and then it kind of goes out of mind and they ignore their bookkeeper's requests for months, if someone can explain why that happens to me, that would really be helpful. But this is critical. This is absolutely critical that clients are engaged with their bookkeepers. We can't read minds. We wish we could. We don't want to bug you, but just set an appointment with your bookkeeper once a month for a 5 to 20 minute meeting. It probably won't last 20 minutes. And get those questions answered, and do it when you can still take small bites. Okay, so that's really all I wanted to talk about. I don't want to rant for 30 minutes today. I just wanted to talk about that and how important client engagement is in the bookkeeping process. We are really good at our jobs. We are not that good to be able to do this without any input from our clients. We've got to have input from our clients or the whole thing falls apart. Feel free to like, comment, and share, and kind of get these videos around. I'm trying to get them to go a little bit more viral. I appreciate all of the engagement that I've had, and I really appreciate my clients and Michael. You guys have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll look forward to talking to you tomorrow.